Minnesota Vikings should and could be looking for the quarterback of the future this draft, with Kirk Cousins heading into the final year of his contract. And seemingly, it seems like the Vikings are already just like deuces next offseason. And it would be great to have the quarterback of the future on the rooster for a year, give him a redshirt season, and have them learn from Kevin O'Connell as well as Kirk Cousins for a year versus just throwing him into the fire like you would with a rookie next year. But this is peak BS season, right? So all of the rumors, all the conjecture, everything, right? Where nothing leaks without like something attached to it. Like everyone has an ulterior motive when they're talking to insiders, when they're talking to NFL draft guys, like, oh, we heard that this team, blah, blah, blah. And nothing gets out that doesn't want to get out. Like no team is just going to a reporter like, here's what our draft board looks like. Here's what we're going to do. So take everything with a massive grain of salt this time of year. But I don't think it's an accident that guys like Daniel Jeremiah, guys like significant draft analysts are all of a sudden being like, hey, the Vikings could and should be in on a quarterback in the first round. Enter The Athletic. That's right. Vikings beat writer Alec Lewis and his brethren, they did up a 2023 beat writer mock draft. Things got spicy. Now, yes, this is behind the paywall, but the details of the trade, not getting into the whole nitty gritty, but the Vikings move up to 7, take Will Levis, and in the trade, they only give up 2370. Where'd they get 70 from? Whatever. And a 2020 first round pick to the Raiders for number 7 overall, as well as 204. Does it mean like 80? That doesn't matter. But either way, it's not a lot. I mean, that certainly is not a lot, and that is definitely a win on the Jimmy Johnson trade chart as well as the Spielberger trade chart. So, I mean, you're giving up 2 first-rounders and a third to move up 16 spots in the first round, and you get a 6th or 7th back. Yes, I'm doing that. I'm doing it, man. So the Vikings would be vaulting all the way up from 23 up to 7. Now, not giving away any details, but Levis is the 4th of the quarterbacks off the board. But the Vikings see him tumbling, and if the Raiders want to go in a different direction, if they're not interested, to have Levis sit behind Jimmy G for a couple years, it makes sense. And Kwesi has... I feel like that's the missing piece of this offseason, where Kwesi has stripped down the rooster of some veteran contracts, inked up young guys, and now just making a move for his quarterback of the future as Kirk Cousins plays out the final year of his deal. Really does make sense. And, the steam is there with Will Levis. I mean, they met with him at the Combine. Kevin O'Connell reportedly is a fan of him, but I feel like Kevin O'Connell is just like an overly positive person. Like maybe he's a fan of everyone. Like he probably thinks that I could play NFL quarterback. He's like, hey, you know what, Jerome, if you just keep on working, eating some broccoli and what's that? Don't do sleep and get 8 hours of drugs, as opposed to don't do drugs and get 8 hours of sleep. Doesn't matter. But if I do that, I can be an NFL quarterback. Or maybe Kevin O'Connell, he sees, Kevin O'Connell with 6'5", 230, could run like a deer, big-time arm, and maybe he sees a lot of himself in a guy like Will Levis. And Levis, the pride of Kentucky over the last 2 years, put on a show at the Combine. Now, maybe he was a little bit overshadowed in the throwing by Richardson and Stroud, but Levis was certainly damn solid, man. And he started out at Penn State as eats a banana weird, doesn't like dairy, as well as puts mayonnaise in his coffee, but it's beside the point. Put up some big numbers at Kentucky. 2021 was the apex, 2,800 yards passing, 24 touchdowns. Did have 13 picks, but also ran in 9 scores as well. And with Levis, you got a big-time arm. He is up there with Richardson just in terms of a downfield arm strength. He's got solid mobility as well. He's a quarterback sneak machine. And, the Eagles last year with Jalen Hurts and the rugby push certainly showed the effectiveness of that. And also the frustrating Vikings on 3rd and inches, 4th and inches going shotgun. Yeah, I think that would change, because I think that Levis certainly could serve as like the quarterback sneak guy or the wildcat guy his rookie season while he's learning under Kirk. Like we said, 2021 better than 2022. Intermittent accuracy at times, but a lot of that can be contributed to mechanics, as well as he didn't have a lot of weapons around him. Last year, 2 years ago in 2021, he had Wan'Dale Robinson, who ended up being a 2nd-round pick by the Giants. Last year, the team was pretty bereft of talent, as well as on the offensive line, as well as on the outside. Plus, they didn't really do him any favors. And what's interesting is that Kevin O'Connell actually has an interesting tie-in to Will Levis. So when Kevin O'Connell was in LA, on staff was a coach named Liam Cohen. Now, Cohen in 2021 was the OC and QB coach when Levis had his phenomenal season. And then in 2022, he joined the Rams as Kevin O'Connell's replacement as OC. And then this year, he left Sean McVay's staff and is back in Kentucky at the same job. Just skipped Will Levis' senior year. So Levis up here with Cohen, who him and KOC go way back on chiropractic. And Will Levis down here without Liam Cohen. So something to keep an eye on, right? And Levis, like I said, I like his feistiness. I do like that he does have an alpha attitude. I like that he's very confident, like borderline cocky, but you certainly want that with your quarterback. And I think that he certainly could, sit behind Kirk, learn everything from Kevin O'Connell, and just be that dude in 2024. And I mean, if this is, if that's the draft compensation, if that's it. If that is it, to move up to 7, to go get your guy, your future franchise dude, all for it. All for it. Plus, it seems like a calculated risk that Kwesi certainly would go after, but we'll see what happens, man. But your thoughts are thoughts. The Athletics beat writer mock draft, spicy. The Vikings trade up to 7 to go snag Kentucky gunslinger Will Levis. Let us know your thoughts and our thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Put a little something in the Venmo, but till next time, Skol, production value.